Let me ask you something. Do you frequently wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, look at the clock with dread, and realize you have to make another trip to the bathroom? If you are over 60 and struggling with nighttime bladder strain, you are probably exhausted. What if I told you the real cause isn't just an aging bladder, and it isn't strictly about how much water you actually drink? Most people are treating the symptom by dangerously dehydrating themselves while making the root problem worse. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is causing these constant nighttime disruptions and what you can start doing today to sleep through the night. I see this every single day in my practice. You try cutting out water after dinner. You try going to the bathroom 3 times before you finally get into bed, but nothing works. You still wake up, your sleep cycle is shattered, and you spend the next day in a fog of fatigue. You are not alone, and this is not just an unavoidable part of getting older. The first thing you need to understand is that this may not actually be a bladder capacity problem at all. Most people think they just need to drink less water. In reality, it is about the delivery system. When you realize you haven't drank enough water all day, and suddenly chugged 2 big glasses with dinner, you trigger a rapid volume response in your kidneys. Your body cannot absorb water that quickly. It acts like a flash flood, bypassing your cells and going straight to your bladder. Instead of gulping, you need to sip your water slowly throughout the afternoon. This allows for intracellular absorption, meaning the water actually hydrates your tissues instead of just filling your bladder. But if that were the whole story, this problem would be much easier to solve. Here is where things get really interesting. One patient told me he stopped drinking water entirely after 6 in the evening, but still woke up 3 times every night. What surprised him was that the problem wasn't the water he drank at night. It was the lack of minerals in the water he drank during the day. When you drink large amounts of plain, highly filtered water, you actually flush out essential electrolytes like sodium and potassium. Without these minerals, your cells cannot hold on to hydration. The water simply passes right through you. Adding just a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt to your morning water can completely change how your body retains fluid, keeping it in your cells and out of your bladder at night. But there is another factor most people completely overlook, and it has nothing to do with your kidneys. As we get older, our circulation becomes a bit less efficient. Throughout the day, gravity pulls fluid down into your lower legs and ankles. You might not even notice the mild swelling. But when you finally lie down flat in bed at night, gravity is no longer holding that fluid in your legs. All that trapped water suddenly shifts back into your bloodstream. Your kidneys filter this massive sudden influx of fluid, and an hour after you fall asleep, your bladder is completely full. The fix for this is incredibly simple. About 2 hours before bed, sit on the couch and elevate your legs above your heart for 20 minutes. This allows the fluid to shift while you are still awake, so your kidneys can process it and you can use the bathroom before you ever get under the covers. This next cause has nothing to do with what most people suspect. It involves a hidden chemical shift in your brain. When we are young, our brains produce high levels of something called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, while we sleep. This hormone specifically tells your kidneys to slow down urine production at night. But after age 60, ADH production naturally declines. Your kidneys keep producing daytime levels of urine all night long. While you cannot stop aging, you can support this hormone by managing your light exposure. Viewing bright sunlight early in the morning and strictly avoiding bright artificial screens an hour before bed helps regulate the circadian rhythm that controls this crucial hormone, and this may explain why previous solutions never worked for you. Think about the temperature of the water you drink with your evening meal. Many people love ice-cold water. But in an older, more sensitive digestive system, ice-cold fluids can actually cause mild spasms in the bladder and surrounding tissues. This sudden cold exposure increases the sensation of urgency. Switching to room temperature or warm water in the late afternoon and evening is a small tweak that can drastically reduce sudden bladder spasms. But before you start changing your water temperature, we need to look at what is hiding in your evening meals. You probably already know to avoid coffee before bed, but hidden bladder irritants are everywhere. Tomatoes, citrus fruits, spicy foods, and even dark chocolate contain compounds that can inflame the bladder lining. When the bladder lining is irritated, it feels full even when it is only holding a small amount of liquid. Moving these foods to your lunchtime meal. instead of dinner can give your bladder hours to clear the irritation before you try to sleep. This next mistake is incredibly common, and you have probably done it every night for decades. It is the just-in-case bathroom trip. You use the bathroom after dinner, but then right before you get into bed, you force yourself to go again even if you do not really have the urge. You think you are emptying the tank, but what you are actually doing is training your bladder. By repeatedly forcing your bladder to empty when it only has a tiny amount of urine in it, you are slowly teaching the bladder muscles to send an urgency signal at lower and lower volumes. You are shrinking your functional bladder capacity. You need to start trusting your body and only going when you truly feel a natural urge. Here is another factor most people never consider. If you are over 60, there is a good chance you take medications, perhaps for blood pressure. Many of these medications have mild or even strong diuretic effects. If you take them with your dinner or before bed, they are designed to pull fluid from your body precisely when you are trying to sleep. Always have a conversation with your doctor about the timing of your medications. Often, simply shifting a daily pill to the morning with your doctor's approval can completely eliminate nighttime bathroom trips. As we approach the most important changes you can make, we have to talk about the hydration window. Most people sip water casually all day and then try to catch up in the evening. You need to shift to a 10-hour daytime hydration window. You should consume 80% of your daily fluids between the time you wake up and 4 in the afternoon. This front loads your hydration when you are active and upright, leaving the evening for minimal maintenance sipping only. If you only remember one major biological shift from this video, remember this. The most overlooked cause of nighttime urination is actually how you breathe while you sleep. If you sleep with your mouth open, or if you snore, you are exhaling massive amounts of water vapor with every breath. Your brain senses this rapid fluid loss and panics. It actually signals your body to wake up so you can drink water, but you interpret that wakefulness as needing to use the bathroom. Improving your nasal breathing at night, perhaps by keeping your bedroom air slightly humidified or practicing nasal breathing exercises, can stop this moisture loss and keep you asleep. We have covered a lot of ground, so let us break this down into a specific action plan you can use immediately. Tonight, 2 hours before you plan to sleep, sit back and elevate your legs above the level of your heart for at least 20 minutes. Let that trapped fluid shift while you are still awake. Tomorrow morning, stop gulping massive glasses of plain water. Add a tiny pinch of sea salt to your first glass, and commit to sipping your water slowly throughout the early part of the day. This week, start tracking your evening meals to see if hidden irritants like citrus or spicy foods are triggering your bladder. And stop doing the forced just-in-case bathroom trips. You do not have to accept broken sleep as a normal part of aging. The root cause is rarely just an aging bladder. The biggest mistake you can make is simply dehydrating yourself to avoid the bathroom. The most important action you can take is changing the timing, temperature, and mineral content of how you hydrate. Which of these symptoms do you struggle with most? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, subscribe because every week I share practical health strategies that actually work.